almost everybody you'll meet, when you get in a conversation with them, they're going to tell you how bad those two drops in the market were in the 2000s.
Sure.
And they want to mitigate that. They want to find a way to have a strategy that might give them a chance to have that not happen to them going forward. It lost 49% in 01 and 02, and it lost 56% in 08, 09. So you look at that and start, gosh, you can't lose half of what you have twice in one 15-year period of time.
It's crazy.
But that happened to people. And we want to give people the best chance to navigate whatever the future brings with knowledge, with precision, with access to products, and with this chance that you could be successful and not have to be just like everybody else.
One of the questions I've gotten as a vendor to you guys for 15 years and spoken all over for you guys over Canada and the U.S. is people will come because I guess they consider me safe. You're in the business, I'm not. They go, yeah, right. You're a safe. They'll come, they'll email, they'll call our office. They call pretty much every day or email every day. And they'll say, I know you're a big WFG fan. You brag about these guys and you love this company and I am a fan. I said, right. I am. And they'll say, if WFG is so great, why do so many people quit? Why do 80% of the people that sign an AMA 12 months later, they're gone? Why? And I never know really what to say.
I think it's human nature. I think if you looked at how many people join a health club or buy an exercise machine and how many are doing it a year later, it's probably a pretty low number.
Sure.
I think people, they're frustrated with where they are. They don't feel like they make enough money to really do what they want to do. But what do you want to really do about it? How many people stop smoking or lose weight or exercise or whatever a human being would like to do to better themselves?
Sure.
So to me, one of those is becoming an entrepreneur and trying to change your station in life, whether it's a potential career change or an encore career at the end. I was thinking this morning driving up here we have a guy on our team who was a high school math teacher down in Florida. He was Chris Everett's math teacher.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay.
And he moved,
he's getting up there.
He's from Ohio originally. He moved back to Ohio and became a teacher at Kent State. And he was there in May of 1970. That wasn't a good time to be at Kent State.
No, not at all.
So he decided to get out of that business and joined IBM.
Okay.
I'm sure we're allowed to say their name. So
yeah,
he worked there for 25 years. So from 25 to 50, he worked at IBM. And of course, he left and retired at 50. He got in our business. Well, he is a couple years away from being here 25 years. And so, but here, we're not going to make him retire at 25 years.
Right.
He's still going. He probably plays a little more golf now than he used to. Does a few more things with his family. But between his pension from IBM, his Social Security, and his business here, Pat McCardle's got the kind of income people dream of. And he's got a dream business. He's got a great bunch of guys on his team. And so to me, that's the dream of this, is that no matter what stage of life you're in, you could come here and you could become this. Pat probably identifies himself now as a financial advisor more than he would think of himself as an IBM salesperson and maybe a school teacher. So, that's... And it's given him a freedom and a lifestyle option that you don't typically have if you have a typical job.
Right.
You've got to be certain office hours and you have certain bosses and those kind of things.
Sure.
Pat's in business for himself.
So he's got to be getting up there 70s or 80s?
He's 73, I think.
73, okay.
Yeah. So
because Chris Everett's getting close to 60.
Right. So is that cool? It's such a cool thing. And people from every background. But the thing is Pat's a guy who got fully licensed, and his clients love him.
Sometimes another thing people say to me, again, is being Switzerland on the outside.
Yes.
They'll say, well, I would do WFG with these guys. They seem like a bunch of great guys. And they are like the nicest people.
They are.
I don't think anyone can dispute that. No one ever says, these are nasty people. You guys are the nicest people. They always say that. But they'll say, well, I kind of missed the boat. Guys like Tom Mathews, they got started in 1982. Those guys are rich now because, they were there in the beginning. The opportunity has passed. What do you say to them? Because you've seen the whole thing.
Well, I have, and I'll tell you, I think the advantage that the new people have today is way beyond what we had. It's so my opinion is...
It's not too late for them,
though?
The
biggest earner in our company is not joined us yet. I think that there's going to be people come here and take advantage of these modern times. It's sort of like this. If I would have said to you 10 years ago a company could start and be bigger than General Motors, and not own a car or sell a car...
You never believe
Uber.
it. No way.
But how'd that happen?
Impossible.
Well, they did it with technology. And
right.
I think those days are coming in our business. And I think people are going to join us and build wildly successful, really big businesses, but not have to do, I traveled for 15, 20 years to open all those offices. physically.
Right.
And flew there, and
that's brutal.
Oh my gosh, just that's how you had to do it. And nowadays, I just heard the other day, one of our guys is here in his city, and he sent some information electronically to a city 300 miles away. They looked at it and all but made a decision to join us, and got him back and got him on a phone. They join us, get licensed, start becoming successful, kind of trained him over the telephone. He met him like 6 or 8 months later in person for the first time at one of our meetings.
Wow.
So you couldn't do that 30 years ago.
Right, yeah.
But today you can, and I use my daughter sometimes as an example. She's been doing this for about a year now, and her best month here so far, she made more than my best month after 5 years.
Wow.
So
now how? Because of the technology, you think?
It's just the way the world is, the way these products have evolved, the way our systems evolved, the way our compensations evolved, the way we do the...
Or she just wanted to beat the old man.
Well, that
could have been it too.
That too.
She's sharp too.
And she's working hard.
She's very sharp.
She's really working hard, and I give her a lot of credit for that. So, but that just proves what can be done, and so she has a lot of desire, and I'll say this to you: I think a lot of people have a lot of desire, but where are you going to apply that desire and get the best benefit for yourself and your family if you don't find an opportunity as big as your dreams, something that has the horsepower to go that fast?
So you don't think people have missed the opportunity? You think it's bigger now?
I don't think they have. I think it's bigger now, and I think you're going to see a lot of these newer people. It's like I mentioned, we're a little bit like golf. Look at how big the purses in golf are today versus when.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's sort of the same way in our industry. People now have more. The world's worth more. The people in the United States are worth more. The people that are teachers have huge amounts of money they've accumulated because of the way the world is today. We pay teachers more.
Well, you remember Roger Staubach, who was in our day was the big quarterback for the Cowboys. He sold life insurance in the summer. He was the biggest quarterback in the NFL.
He did.
I mean, now Tom Brady makes $100 million a year.
Right. Right. Yeah. Some of that same thing is kind of applying to our business.
The money's come into it.
Yes. Yes.
So what advice would you give someone, Tom? You're 30 plus years down the road with this, all the success you've had. You're probably ranked in the top 50 in the company, something like that, whatever it is, or higher probably.
Yeah.
So someone's looking at this, they're excited, but they went home, let's say, and because we get a lot of calls about this, and I know you do as well. And their spouse said, "No, I looked it up online, and this is a scam. It's a call." All those things, and you've talked a little bit about those. But what advice would you give that person who is excited? They had all this hope, and now they're thinking, "Oh, maybe I'm being duped here. Maybe this is a scam. I got to be careful. It's a dangerous world. I don't know if I should go forward or not." What do you say to that person who's kind of they're anxious?
I think if something's important to you, then you wouldn't just trust what somebody else says. I think you do your own homework.
And what's the best way to do that?
I think you use your eyes, use your heart, use your instincts, meet the person, look at their office and their way they dress and the way the things they say and how you feel about it, and anything you can check out, and you'll know very quickly. And the nobility of what we're doing speaks for itself. So if I show you how the Rule 72 works and somebody else says they don't like us, that doesn't make the Rule 72 not work anymore. It still works. Sure. And if I'm going to be your conduit to you learning how to build a business around that, then it almost doesn't matter what somebody else says. If you were going to be a quarterback and you could have Tom Brady teach you, that'd be worthwhile. And we've got a team full of Tom Bradys that know how to teach you exactly what to do in every situation, and do it through the filter of doing what's right for the consumer, doing what's right for that person, and what makes the most sense for them. And when you learn that, it makes the business actually pretty easy. The things that we do are math, so the math tells you what to do, and it makes sense. And the financial education we give is a lot of it's economic based, so that you learn that, it makes sense. And if it's better for you in every measurable way, why wouldn't you want to do it? And so when it comes to our business and the career side of it, I think that for most people, what they would say to themselves is, IBM's not got the red carpet rolled out for me. I'm not going to invent something. I'm not going to be a rocket scientist. I'm not going to be an athlete. So this may be my shot at being the most successful for me as an entrepreneur. And if I've got these guys willing to teach me and mentor me and coach me, and they've got a system I can follow that's produced success that they're enjoying, and it looks like it's something I could trust and it's noble, and information, we live in the information age, so it makes it all available. I don't know why somebody wouldn't give this a good shot, take their shot at it, because if it works out, and you like it and you do well at it, I'm not sure there's anywhere else you could be as successful as you could here.
Do you think WFG is a get-rich-quick scheme?
No. No, I think it's a chance to be successful, and for many of us, way beyond our wildest dream come true. But I wouldn't say it's get rich quick. I mean, you got to work hard. You got to build this. Sometimes for those of us who've been doing it for a long time, we make it look easy. But this is work. I mean, I get up every morning and go to my office.
Because you guys make a lot of money.
We do.
There's no question about that.
We've been very blessed, and we're very successful. And but what I'm most proud of are two things: what we've done for the families that have trusted us with their money, and what we've done for the associates that have trusted us with their life's work. And as long as we've delivered for those two groups of people, then my career is a success.
Let's say there's a 25-year-old person watching this, and he or she they're interested, and they want to know, maybe they're living at home with their parents, a lot of kids do. We should have done more of that probably. We could have saved more money earlier, but anyway, they're learning how to do that, right? These millennials are smart. And maybe their parents they're thinking, how long is it going to take them to, if they join WFG today, the average person, just not, nothing special, just sort of the average person walking down the street, how long would it take that person to make, say, $60,000 a year so they can make a full-time living? Well, if they started part-time. Yeah,
we've had people do that at that speed. If you $60,000 a year is $5,000 a month. So we've had people their first, second, third, fourth month with us make that kind of money.
But that's not typical, is it?
No, it's not typical. No, it's not typical.
Is there like an average you ever? I know it's hard to.
I don't know what that would be. I wouldn't want to exaggerate, but I think that somebody who's serious about this, that is certainly a place they can get to pretty quickly. If you're working with me or our leaders, and you tell us that you're that serious and you're willing to work hard, we could put you on that path very quickly. And
maybe a year, 2 years,
sure,
something
absolutely.
Like that, just to give an idea.
And if you're part time, I want you to think about what your other options are. If you're part-time and you make whatever you make, the average household in Georgia here makes $45,000, $50,000 a year.
Right.
So what would an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a year do to you? Well, it changes everything. But to go do that at a normal fast food place or some kind of store, where all the time you would be able to enjoy the extra money you spend trying to earn it. But here, you could take 1 or 2 or 3 nights a month and go make that kind of money and be able to change your lifestyle with the money and have the time to enjoy it. So to me, that's one of the reasons make this such a viable option for people. And if you have any success recruiting, if you have any success with clients, then you should be able to get beyond that pretty fast. I did. When I really figured all this out and got all my licenses, I went pretty fast. And as we started WFG, we did things we had never done before because of our desire to be big. When you have a burning desire in you to be successful and you want to build something big, all the rules are out the window, all the normal rules. So my first month as we started WFG, I brought in 35 people.
Wow.
And I'd never done anything like that before in my life.
How did you do that?
I contacted 500 people.
People you knew, or
people I knew and knew of, and I said we're building a new company and we're starting something pretty big and it's gonna be exciting, and I want to tell you about it. And they looked. I held a meeting and had 125 people come to it. I'd never done anything like that before in my life, my career. And after 45 days, 111 of the 125 said yes.
Wow.
And that became the business I enjoy today.
That's a lot. That was when you
started WFG.
WFG. Okay, so you had been in the business for a little while before that.
10 years.
And did that business transfer over to the new business?
Yeah, a lot of the same relationships and that kind of thing, yes. So, but I learned, and I grew and I evolved, and I didn't want to be the old guy. I wanted to be the new guy. I wanted to be one of the biggest. And if you want to be one of the biggest, you got to find out what that is. And here, between being mentored by the guy that started the company and having a chance to be more magnetic to the people I wanted to talk to because he was standing behind me, and that's the role now 30 years later some of us are trying to do with our teams, which is a little weird,
right? Yeah,
but we're doing it.
Happens fast, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And we're doing that, and so we get a chance to help our team become more magnetic. And what I've tried to do is, between a combination of TV shows and streaming videos and podcasts, make the accessibility of all this information and the magnetism of all of it be just much more readily available, so that somebody could be driving their car in California today and they could listen to a podcast and get an idea or an inspiration. And you know what they can do? They can hit the share button, and they can send that over to somebody they've been talking to and say, listen to this. This is what I'm talking about. 30 years ago, you couldn't do that.
Right.
You know, I'd have to say it to you, and then you'd have to figure out how to say it to somebody else.
Sure.
Nobody could forward anything or share anything. And
right.
You certainly would, and you'd have to go take it to somebody with delivery. You couldn't send it. And today, gosh, the ability to expand. I've often wondered what would happen if I started over today, how fast I could build it up, and it blows my mind to think about.
How fast could you have done it if you were just brand new, you got in, but you got the Tom Mathews system, WealthWave, which is your organization, which is brilliant. We've had a lot of people we've interviewed, as you know, here at the mansion from WealthWave, because we love you guys. I mean, you guys know what you're doing. It's fantastic. How long would it take you if a 22-year-old Tom Mathews steps into it today?
Oh my gosh!
With the WealthWave technology,
I'd be so excited. You know,
how long would it take you to get to 100 grand?
Everybody's got more friends now.
True.
They've got more contacts.
Right.
My daughter has still got a website. They keep track of all her friends from grade school and high school and college. Well, each time I went to a different
school. The old guy taught her well.
Yeah.
Networking in fourth grade, right?
Right. But
build your database.
But when I got out of grade school, I never saw those people again the rest of my life.
Right.
I went over to a private Catholic boys' high school and never saw them again.
Right.
And then when I went to college, everybody went to different college. I never saw those guys again.
Sure.
Well, I saw them now at a 40th reunion last year. But,
right.
But that's the kind of thing that these new people don't do, and the new generation, the millennials, they've got access to tens of thousands of people directly and indirectly through all their reach of all the social media and all their whole life experience and all their contacts.
Right.
So you let them know what you're doing these days. That's what everybody does. Just thought I'd tell you, this is what I'm doing now. I'm in the financial business, and here's the things we're doing, and you know that's how they've done it. My daughter's first meeting was a web-based. We did it with live stream, so she did it as a TV show. They had about 125 people in the room live, and it got live streamed to 4,000 locations.
Wow!
In her first night, and then that recording of that was watched another 10,000 times the next 30 days.
Wow!
And that was in January of last year. They're still following up behind all that.
Wow.
So just getting the word out there, getting it started, and having those conversations, and that's how you build it. And that's the 21st century way of building a business.
So if you had, just going back to the original question, I know it's hard to answer exactly.
It is.
But if you, not knowing what you know now, but now you land here. Yeah, having access to the technology, it's different. And now to get to $100,000, if you had to put money on it, how long would it take you from scratch? You're not Tom Mathews anymore, you are, but you're not the famous Tom Mathews in WFG. You're just a brand new associate.
I think I could do it in less than a year.
100,000.
I do.
How about $1 million?
Less than 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
I do.
10 times as much in just that little time.
I do.
Just because of the systems.
Whatever you did that first time, do it 9 more times. It actually is that simple. And because we have the ability to build a team without any limit, you know, the big team fairy is not going to come along and give it to you, but they're also not going to stop you from doing it. So you just go out and you build a bigger team. You know, if it takes bringing in 30 people, you go find 30 people. If it takes 40, bring in 40. Whatever it is for you, but you can. And now with these tools, it makes it so much more easy.
Sure.
No matter what your background or personality, everybody's not good at speaking right away or good at figuring things for clients right away.
Right.
But we've got people that are, and they can do it on your behalf. We have an event once a month called a VIP Green Carpet Day. And so people bring in their best prospects to Atlanta, and we do it in our TV studio in our office.
Right. It's beautiful.
And oh my gosh, it's incredible what that does.
State of the art.
We also live stream it.
Yeah.
And so thousands of people around the country.
I've watched your live streams. It's like it's television. It's incredible.
It is.
Yeah, you feel like you're there.
We've really, like you have, the best equipment and we're not TV stars, but we're just good guys doing a good business, and we share that. And people have a sixth sense; they can tell. And when I hear somebody talk, I got a pretty good little meter that tells me what's going on there. And you'll notice, as you have, and I really appreciate that compliment, that our people are really good people and they're solid, and they believe in what we're doing. But it's because it's so darn believable. What we do for families is very important work. And I think that we've got a legitimate chance to change financial literacy in North America. And so that's my new business goal, is to really, one day when I'm old and they're writing about me on Wikipedia, I don't want it to say that I was some guy who made a bunch of money for myself or drove a nice car or lived in a nice home. I want it to say, he built a business and it made a difference, and it changed the landscape of financial literacy in this country, and maybe even around the world by then.
It's a great goal. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
What do you think over all these years has been the secret? I know there's no secrets necessarily, but what's been sort of the secret of your success? Because so many people obviously want to be the next Tom Mathews, and so few people actually make it there. So you're there now. What do you think it is?
I learned it as a musician. I was first chair all the way through every band that I was ever in, but it's because I practiced, and I worked harder than everybody else. I knew that I could practice those songs enough to where I had it down, and I just had a suspicion that I might work harder than the next guy. And so when it came time for it, I nailed it, and they didn't because I practiced more. And so I took that same mindset into this, and I've just always been a hard worker. I get up, and the first thing I do is go straight to the office. And when I can't do it one more second, that's when I go home. And I just have put that much time in. You know, when I was single and young, I did it 7 days a week. And now I do it differently, but I still kind of do it. I'm still thinking about it, and I may be online, or I may be doing a webinar or a conference call, but I'm still doing it and sharing it. And I believe that there's an amount of hard work between where you are today and where you want to be. And I believe there's somebody in our company who's got a style that's very similar to yours that you could emulate, and you could take that style, that way of doing it, and your hard work and your passion, and get out there and get after it, and you can make it happen for you.
But as you know, a lot of people work hard. Obviously, hard work is a factor. But a lot of people work really hard, and they don't become the next, star in WFG. Is there something special? Is there an X factor you think if you look at yourself? I know it's hard to do that objectively, but
I haven't seen too many people work really hard and have it not work out for them. Pretty much anybody who this doesn't work for, they gave up too soon. Because every single person at the top of our company, their business passed through where you're sitting there today. The difference is you're about to give up and they didn't. And they kept right on going and busted through it. And it could have been a challenge, it could have been a deficiency, it could have been maybe the test is hard for you, maybe becoming a people person's hard for you, or speaking is hard for you. But to me, not being successful is hard. Poverty's hard. So
sure.
So if you got to pick the hard, do the hard that gives you a chance to be successful, not the hard that makes you have to satisfy and take what you get.
So you don't think it's a special talent or anything?
I think that if you become a student of human nature, I think if you like people and people like you got a great advantage. And then I think if you work hard, you got even a greater advantage. And then the last 5%, it's a competition. There's a lot of really sharp, really good people doing this. And so you're not going to go straight to number one, but you can jump in the top 5 or 10% by just being a good person, standing for something, working hard, and trying to make a difference in people's lives.
Well, what's the one question that I didn't ask you that you wish I would have asked you after 30 plus years in this business? Something you want people to know that are brand new looking at this and they're not sure what to do.
My personal opinion is that there's probably not a better business opportunity in North America that I'm aware of than this one, because of the diversity of backgrounds and the lack of necessary education or experience to start. And then on the other side of it, what it could turn into and what it has turned into. People that didn't speak English, or people that aren't from this country, or people that didn't even go to college. They can come here and become wildly successful. And so to me, that makes this worth checking out. And then I think if you look at this and you really look at it closely, you're going to see, number one, that you could use some of the products and services we have here, because you may not have all your stuff together. And number two, the showing of that to people is something that is going to be going on for a long time. This is not being taught in schools today still.
Right.
It's not something that's readily available online. It's something that if you really look into this, the size of this industry is enormous. It's about to become the first $100 trillion industry.
Amazing.
And everything else is way behind. It's bigger than number 2 and 3 combined times 2. So it's the biggest industry in the world by far. But to me, it's got one of the easiest access to it by just getting your licenses and learning our system, and then working hard, and being passionate about this. And you might notice that a lot of our WealthWave teammates are so passionate.
They are.
I mean,
definitely.
they've got this in their soul.
Right.
And they're out here to make a difference. And you know, there's lots of places in the world you can make money, and there's a few places you can make money and make a difference. But I think we can take that one step further, and I think we can make money, make a difference, and maybe even make history if we work hard enough and do enough good things. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, you definitely are. And I just want to share this story with you. You know, last year I was crisscrossing the country as I do, giving speeches on the books and all that kind of thing. And I landed in Denver, one of my last dates of the year. And it was for a Wealth Wave group, your team, maybe 400 people, something like that, if I remember correctly. And at the break, we were doing a 6-hour program. At the break, I said to one of our crew, I said, what? It's something's different in this room. I mean, these guys are very, very serious. I brought some people up on stage, I think I did there. And the whole crew, I think I had 10 or 12 people there with us for the seminar. And we all talked about how impressive the Wealth Wave people were. I mean, and we do a lot of, as you know, a lot of seminars all over the world every year. And it was a very different kind of a group, and it was very, very impressive. I just wanted to say that to you directly because
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're doing a lot of great things for people.
Our leaders are the most incredible people I've ever met.
They're amazing.
They are so serious about this, and they're so committed to it, and they believe at their core level that this is what they want to do with the rest of their lives. And so many of them are just somebody who their normal education experience wouldn't have taken them down this path, but they did it, and here they are. And so it's my lucky day to be in business with them, and the things we're doing together, I don't see anywhere else in our industry. So I'm very excited about that too.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for doing the things you're doing for people that need it.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.